comment, share, and like for more videos to my channel. Hit the bell if you mess with hell. So, Boosie done found himself in trouble again. After beating all them charges, the feds... Boosie, sit your ass down somewhere, bro. You like the kid that's always in trouble in class, bro. Let me guess. They picking on you. Let me guess. The security guard did something to you. Hey, sit your ass down, bro. Always getting in trouble. Always catching charges. You just got out of trouble 2 months ago with the feds. You beat the charge. Go sit your ass down, Boosie. Dang. For they lock you up and you can't get out.
Boosie is facing an aggravated assault charge. Boosie, whose real name is Torrance Hatch, allegedly hit a security guard in the back of the head with a glass hookah bottle. Now, this happened in Houston over the weekend on May 24th. The security guard was taken to the hospital and he received 8 stitches. Boosie's bond has been set at $85,000, but his lawyer said this was a walk-through bond, meaning that he did not have to go back into custody.
Boosie's victim finally got his side out in the open after what happened, and the man at the center of it all, Boosie Badazz, just looked into a camera and told the whole world this is nothing but a money grab.
Hey, to all my family and fans, man, I'm okay, bro. I'm alright. It's basically a money grab, man. It's a money grab, but it's what you go through as an entertainer. The facts of the case have come out. I mean, we in court now.
Right now, today, Torrance Hatch Jr., the man you know as Boosie Badazz, the same man who built the soundtrack to a whole generation of the South, is staring down an aggravated assault charge with a deadly weapon in Harris County, Texas. And the deadly weapon the state of Texas is talking about ain't a gun. It ain't a knife. It's a hookah, a glass hookah base. Gang, let that sit for a second. Here's the real tea, no cap. According to the court documents, a security guard named Edward Eigelhart was working the door at a Houston nightclub, closing the spot down for the night when he ended up with blood running down his face and 8 staples in the back of his head. 8 staples. And when that man turned around, police say, the person standing there holding a broken glass hookah base was Boosie. Now Eigelhart's account is sitting in a charging document for the whole world to read. Boosie's got a warrant with his name on it, his bond got set at $85,000, and the rapper himself came out swinging on social media telling everybody he didn't do nothing wrong. So which is it? Is this a man getting set up for a payday like Boosie says? Or did one of the biggest names out the South really crack a security guard's skull open over a bathroom argument at 2 in the morning? Y'all need to hear this because the details in this one are wilder than anything anybody could have made up. Let me break it down for you, piece by piece, document by document. And I promise you, by the time we get to the end of this, you're gonna be looking at this whole situation different. This ain't no game. Real recognize real, and the streets been talking. Let's get into it. To understand how we got here, we gotta understand who we're even talking about, because this ain't some random nobody. Boosie Badazz, born Torrance Ivy Hatch Jr. out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, is a living legend in Southern hip-hop, 43 years old, decades deep in the game. The man went from Lil Boosie running the streets of Baton Rouge to one of the most influential, most quoted, most respected voices the South ever produced. We talking about somebody whose music raised people, whose pain people felt like it was their own, whose story, the prison time, the cancer scare, the comebacks, became legend in real time. And that's exactly why this story matters so much, fam. When somebody that big gets tied to something this serious, it ain't just about one night at a club. It's about everything that name carries, the respect, the history, the fan base that would run through a wall for him. So when court documents start coming out with his name attached to a busted open security guard, the whole culture stops and pays attention. Now here's something you gotta understand about Boosie specifically. The man has a long, complicated history with the law. This ain't his first time in the system, not even close. Just earlier this year in January, he closed out a federal case, a gun possession situation out of San Diego from back in 2023, where as a convicted felon, he wasn't supposed to have a weapon. He pleaded guilty to that, and here's the part that matters for everything we're about to talk about. He didn't get prison time on it. Instead, the judge gave him supervised release, community service, and a $50,000 fine. Supervised release. Write that down. Circle it, because that one detail is going to come back around and it changes this entire conversation. A man on supervised release does not get the luxury of a boys will be boys night out. Every move he makes is under a microscope now. So whatever happened in that club, it didn't happen to just anybody. It happened to a man who already had 1 foot watched by the federal government. Keep that in your back pocket. We coming back to it. All right, let me paint the picture for you the way the documents lay it out. Set the scene. May 24th, 2026, Memorial Day weekend, one of the biggest party weekends of the entire year. Downtown Houston, a nightclub off Main Street. The kind of night where the whole city is out, the bottles are flowing, and the energy is sky high. And Boosie wasn't just a guest that night. According to the reporting, he was booked as the host of the club. That's the move, that's the bag. A big name like Boosie pulls up, the crowd pulls up behind him, the club gets its money, everybody eats. This is normal entertainer business. So far, nothing crazy, and it's closing time, around 2 in the morning. Now anybody who's ever worked a door, ever worked security, ever closed down a bar, y'all already know. 2 a.m. closing time is the most dangerous hour in the building. Everybody's drunk, everybody's emotional, nobody wants the night to end, and the staff is trying to push a few hundred people out the door without it turning into a riot. That's the powder keg. That's the setting. Now light the match. That's when a woman walks up to the security guard, Edward Eigelhart, and asks to use the bathroom. Simple request, right? Except the club is already closed. Bathrooms are shut down. So Eigelhart tells her no. And, according to court documents, that's where everything starts to spin out of control. But that's just the beginning, though. Here's where it gets crazy, gang. Watch how fast a no turns into a felony. Per the court records, when Eigelhart told that woman she couldn't use the bathroom because the spot was closed, she didn't take it well. Not at all. She got upset.
Man, you done hit the nigga over the head with a hookah thing. With a hookah! And everybody's seen it. It's on camera. Now, what I want to know is how in the world is your lawyer going to spin this to be self-defense? And, nigga, don't you got people that's in the club with you that's supposed to get up and move some stuff when you want it to be moved? Man, this shit ain't got nothing to do with no money. I'm just tired of seeing Boosie get in trouble, man. I'm just tired of it. Tired of seeing it. Won't make no sense. But then you get on Tootie Raw talking about you want him to do right. He get it from his daddy. He get it from his daddy. Like, come on, bro. Too rich to be getting in trouble for bullshit, bro.
Saying a man bent over picking up somebody's phone, getting cracked from behind, is about as defenseless a victim as you can describe. And they're asking the question nobody on Boosie's side really wants to answer. If it really was a money grab, why was the man taken to the hospital and stapled together? You don't fake 8 staples. And here's a detail that pours gas on that second camp. According to the reporting, the conditions that came attached to Boosie's bond included staying away from that venue entirely and having no contact whatsoever with the alleged victim. Now sit with what that signals. A court doesn't slap a no-contact order on a case it thinks is nothing. That's a standard move when there's a real complaining witness the system wants kept safe. It does not prove guilt. I need to be crystal clear on that, it's routine. But it does tell you the court is treating this like a live, serious matter, not some frivolous shakedown that's getting laughed out by Friday. So the money grab crowd has to wrestle with that one. If the whole thing is fake, why is there a hospital record, a second witness, club ownership co-signing the story, and a judge ordering him to stay away from the man? That's a whole lot of moving parts for a so-called setup, but the other side fires right back, and they've got an answer ready. Deep pockets make people bold. Witnesses who work together can line their stories up, and a no-contact order is paperwork, not a verdict. See what I mean? Every time one side lands a punch, the other side's got a counter. That's exactly why this one is so hard to call from the cheap seats. And then there's the bigger conversation swirling around all of it. The conversation about Boosie's history. This man stays in the headlines for legal situations, the gun case, older situations going back years, other controversies that have followed his name. For his supporters, that's just the life of a Southern rap legend who came up in a world the law was always watching. For his critics, it's a pattern. And when a new charge drops on top of a reputation like that, people read the new one through the lens of the old ones. Fair or not, that's just how it works in this culture. Your past testifies whether you want it to or not. So let's zoom all the way out because that's where the real lesson lives. This whole situation, a legend, a club, a closing time argument over a bathroom, a hookah, 8 staples, it's a snapshot of something way bigger than Boosie. It's about how fast everything can fall apart for somebody in this culture. We're talking about a man who survived prison, survived cancer, survived an industry that chews people up and spits them out, survived 3 decades in one of the hardest games there is. And now his freedom might be hanging on something that, if the allegations are even true, took less than 5 seconds to do. 5 seconds at 2 in the morning over a bathroom that was already closed? That's the part that should hit you in the chest. It's not about whether you ride for Boosie or you don't. It's about how thin the line is. One swing, alleged or real, and a whole legacy is on the table. A man who already fought the system and clawed out a deal in January could watch all of that get put at risk over a club night. The street's been saying it forever. It's not the big things that take you down. It's the small moment you didn't think twice about. And there's a lesson in here about the entertainer life, specifically the one Boosie himself pointed at. When your name carries weight, every room you walk into changes the second you enter it. The energy is different, the stakes are different. People act different around you, for you, and sometimes against you. A regular dude has a bad night at the club and goes home. A man with Boosie's name has a bad night at the club and it's a court document by Monday and a national headline by Tuesday. That's the tax on the fame. That's the part the young artists chasing it never see coming. Now I want to leave y'all with the real questions, the ones that actually matter, because this thing is far from over. September is coming, and between now and then, this case is going to get fought hard on both sides. Question 1. If Boosie really believes it's a money grab, is he going to take this to trial and dare them to prove it? Or does a man on supervised release quietly take a deal to make the bigger threat disappear? Here's the timeline of what came after, clean and simple. The incident was May 24th. Investigators built the case off those statements and the court documents. A warrant got issued for Boosie's arrest. And then on Monday, June 1st, Boosie appeared in Harris County Court. His bond was set at $85,000. He got released on that bond. And his next court date? Pushed all the way out to September. So this thing ain't getting resolved next week. This is a long road. But here's where it gets worse for the situation, and where Boosie decided he wasn't gonna stay quiet. Now here's where people started connecting the dots, and where Boosie did something a lot of people in his position would never do. Most artists facing a felony, their lawyer tapes their mouth shut. No comment. Stay off social media. Let the attorneys cook. That's the playbook. Boosie threw the playbook out the window. After that court appearance, Boosie posted a video response straight to social media and addressed the whole thing head on. No PR statement, no ghostwriter, just him talking. And what did he say? He called the entire case basically a money grab. He told his people this is just part of what you deal with when you're an entertainer. That people see your name, see your bag, and come looking for a check. He said the facts of the case would come out, and then he hit him with that line that's already all over the internet. Life be lifing, bro. That's 100% Boosie. Whether you ride for him or not, you gotta admit, that's exactly how that man talks. Unbothered, defiant, putting it all out in the open. But he didn't stop at money grab. Boosie went further. He went after the guard's credibility directly, raising questions about the man's background and whether he should have even been working security that night at all. Now I gotta keep it 100 with y'all on this, because this is important. Those specific claims Boosie made about the guard are Boosie's allegations. They have not been verified by police, by the court, or by any of the reporting I've seen. So I'm not gonna sit here and repeat unproven accusations about a man like they're facts. That's exactly how lies spread in this culture and how innocent people get dragged. What I will tell you is this. Boosie's defense strategy is clearly built around attacking the accuser's credibility, and his attorney, Carl Moore, put out a statement asking everybody to reserve judgment and let the case play out in court. Which, real talk, is the correct move legally. So now look at what we got. Address the counter-argument like a detective. On one side, a victim's account, a second witness, club owners, promoters, a hospital record, and 8 staples. That's a heavy stack of evidence. On the other side, a defendant who says it's a setup for money, who's questioning the accuser's character, and who legally is presumed innocent until a court says otherwise. Both of those things are sitting on the table right now at the same time, and only one of them is going to survive September. But here's what really matters, and here's the part the internet started screaming about the second this dropped. Remember what I told you to put in your back pocket? Supervised release. Here's where it comes back, and here's why this case is more dangerous for Boosie than maybe any club fight could ever normally be. Boosie just got out of a federal gun case in January. He's a convicted felon, and the terms of that deal had him on supervised release. Now think about what that means for real. When you're on supervised release and you catch a brand new felony charge, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, that doesn't just open a new case. It potentially threatens the deal he already made. A new arrest can be treated as a violation. The same man who managed to avoid prison time back in January could now be looking at exposure he thought he'd already closed the door on. Let me explain exactly how that works, because this is the part that's bigger than the assault charge by itself. When you're on federal supervised release, you signed your name to a list of conditions. And the number one condition on every single one of those agreements is dead simple. Don't commit another crime. Federal, state, local, don't catch a new case, period. So the second a new felony charge lands on him, Boosie doesn't just have a fresh problem in Texas. He's potentially handed the federal system a reason to say he violated the deal that kept him out of prison in the first place. And here's the cold part most people don't know. A violation hearing doesn't run like a regular trial. The standard of proof is lower. A federal judge doesn't need beyond a reasonable doubt to find you violated your terms. They can act on a lot less than that, which means a man can fight the new charge in Texas, beat it, walk out clean, and still get hammered separately on the violation. 2 different fights, 2 different standards, and only one of them plays fair. That's the box Boosie is standing in right now, win or lose on the assault case. And here's the part that shows you Boosie understands exactly how serious that is. According to the reporting, after he found out there was a warrant out for him, one of the first things he did was reach out to his parole officer. Now ask yourself, why would a man who says he's totally innocent, says it's all a money grab, immediately go contact his parole officer? Question 3, the one I really want y'all to sit with. In a culture where we love our legends so much we'll defend them on instinct, do we owe it to that security guard, a working man who left that club with 8 staples in his head, to at least hear the whole story out before we pick a side? Because here's the thing about keeping it 100. Riding for the real ones doesn't mean ignoring the truth when it's inconvenient. It means being strong enough to wait for it. Boosie is innocent until a court says different. That's real. That's the law. And I'll defend that for him just like I'd defend it for anybody. But that guard's injury is real too. And both of those truths gotta be allowed to exist in the same conversation without people losing their minds. So that's the breakdown, gang. That's the real tea on what's going on with Boosie Badazz right now, laid out clean, no filter, but with respect for everybody involved, because real recognize real, and the real ones don't need lies to make the story hit. Let me bring it all the way back around for y'all real quick, so the whole picture sits clean in your head. A closed bathroom at 2 in the morning. A woman, identified by the club as Boosie's niece, turned away at the door. An argument. An elbow to a guard's face. A phone and keys hitting the floor. A man bent over trying to help, who got cracked in the back of the head hard enough to need 8 staples. A second guard, plus club owners and promoters all pointing at the same name. A felony charge carrying 2 to 20 years. A walk-through bond at $85,000, a no-contact order, and a court date pushed to September. And underneath all of it, a federal supervised release situation sitting there like a second trap with a lower bar to spring it. Then the man himself on camera calling the whole thing a money grab and daring the facts to come out in the open. That's the board, gang. Every single piece of it is real and sitting on the table right now. The only thing missing is the ending, and that don't get written till September.
The long story short, Boosie gonna end up finding himself in the penitentiary if he don't sit his ass down somewhere. Just the way it is. You can't continue to catch charges no matter how good your lawyer is and steadily, oh, I'm gonna get probation, oh, I'm gonna take this plea. No, man, them points gonna end up racking up, bro. The point system is very valid in courts. You sit your ass down, man. Got that big nice ass compound. You be at the NBA games. Go sit your ass down, nigga. Dang. Before they take you and don't care that you got money. Hey, man, I don't know what's wrong with you. You and Kodak Black need an intervention. Y'all need to know how to spend y'all money. Comment, share, and like for more videos to my channel. Hit the bell if you mess with hell.